Gas Network presents sports for the culture.
I'm here with the family.
Bryce XXV, Double I,
Rome,
D-Melo,
Gruff Lion.
T-Boogie, man.
To the greatest sports show on the planet, La Familia. Hope y'all ready for a ride.
Can't wait to hear what you guys got to say. We back. It's your favorite sports show, Gas presents sports for the culture. I'm your host tonight at Bryce XXV Double I, live from the telly, as you can see, on travel this week for the job. As always, though, I got the dream team with me. You know, the best team in the world. Shout out to the guys. Top right, introduce yourself.
What up, man? Scruff, you feel me? Good ass sports, you know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know who the hell I am by now, then what the fuck is you doing? But no, we got some good topics for today. It's been crazy. A lot of crazy shit going on. The Clarks, the Ryan Clark, the Caitlin Clarks, you feel me? All the Clarks is wilding this week.
It has been a week. It has been a week of the Clarks. T, introduce yourself, brother.
T-Boogie, man. Wash your hands, wash your ass. Gas the lead AAU coach. I don't know, man. I'm here. Like Scruff said, it's been a crazy week in the you know what I'm saying, the world, and especially in the US. Prayers out to Biden, man. You know what I'm saying? They making light of a serious condition out there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, pull through, bro.
Nah, that's a great point, bro. They made it's way too many jokes being made about that, and I hate to see that. Wherever you land on the political spectrum, right? You should be able to have enough respect not to make light of a serious situation. So,
hey, man. They said the man got stage 9.
I didn't even know it went that high, bro. No cap.
It does.
I never heard that.
Okay. All right. I was about to say. Yo, so I thought it ended at 5, and I'm not even trying to make light of it, but stage 9 is crazy.
I think it's 4 for real. But you know how your man go, bro. You know.
My man doubled the stages like it's a video game level. It captures a video game or something.
Like the final boss.
Right, bro. My man. Wild time. We're not gonna step too much in the political sphere. Y'all know what we do. We sports and culture. So let's jump into it. First topic of the night, man. We got to talk about this. RG3 versus Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark versus RG3, man. Very interesting situation here. Obviously, it stems from the hard foul Caitlin Clark delivered to Angel Reese, and we're gonna get into that. But first, I want to hear where y'all land on this Ryan Clark versus RG3 spat, if you will, right? Because it all started with RG3 claiming that he knows hate. Now RG3 is the minister of hate. He knows hate. And from what he could see, Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Whatever the word hate is used, I just feel like we doing too much, all right? But and then Ryan Clark responds, basically saying RG3, more or less saying RG3 really has no right to be discussing the subject because he's got a white wife, and he never has to have these conversations about black women. And then, you know, RG3's response was, leave my wife out of this, bruh. So let's get into it, man. Who's right, who's wrong in the Ryan Clark versus RG3 debacle? T, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Man, RG3 is dead wrong, man. He's dead wrong. I mean, it's almost the same thing Stephen A. got in trouble for. Like, you're not talking about the sport. You're not talking about, like, between the lines. You talking about your opinion on if a person likes, dislikes, hates, doesn't like, bro. And you feed into a crazy narrative. You feed into a crazy, angry black woman narrative, and that's insane. But you did it. You did it. I want everybody, if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video. You did it with your white wife in the back, laid on the couch like a Great Dane, sitting there. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be expecting Mamba to be on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, just sitting there with the owner, happy and clapping, like, bro, that's it. And then he's imitating Angel Reese's voice with a this terrible impression, and he's neck rolling, and he's giving you Medea style caricature. Like, bro, RG3, Dr. Umar would when Dr. Umar get this, man, RG3 gonna owe that man about 10, 20,000 lashes. About 10, 20. Because you're showing off for your milk. You just drink the milk, bro. You're showing off for the milk, performing for the milk. Just drink it. We all agree that it's a fine cup of milk. Just enjoy the milk. Why you gotta perform for the milk? It's crazy.
Bro, performing for the milk is hilarious. I said that man performing for the milk. Yo, and I feel like if RG3 didn't do that wild ass impression of Angel Reese, it might have been in bounds, bro. I'm not even really all that mad at his wife, right? Who we going for the sake of the conversation, we kind of have to categorize it as his white wife, which I really hate to do, man. I try to be a person that is fair. I don't want to see color, right? But it is what it is, right? But like, if his wife was black, it wouldn't have been so much of an issue, right? It's just like, but you throw that in there too, and it's like, what is he doing? You know what I'm saying? And to me, the impression is what took it too far. I'm not mad at the take, bro. If you want to say like, yo, I seen hate in the way that this person responded, that's your prerogative and your understanding of what went down. But the impression was crazy, dog. Like the impression was just, we could have done without that, man. RG is a wild boy, dog. RG is a wild boy. And then now all these things are surfacing where every chance he gets, he refers to his wife as milk. And like people are making that a thing, but like honestly, bro, like people call white women milk all the time, bro. So like you can't be mad because the black dude that actually has a white woman is referring to his woman as milk. Like, is it objectifying a little bit?
Sure. No.
I'm just saying, bro. Like if it was a white dude and he had a black wife, and every time he had got a chance, he referred to as chocolate milk, right? People would have an issue. People would have an issue with that. Every time a white dude referred to his black wife as a cup of mocha, a cup of Joe, it'd be an issue here, bro. But Scrub, what are your thoughts on this Ryan Clark versus RG3, man?
I got a lot of thoughts. First thing, what you just mentioned, I feel like the part about RG3 that makes him corny is that it's part of his identity, right? It's cool you got milk in the fridge, but like, you know what I'm saying? You're taking it with you everywhere you go. It's becoming part of your identity, right? Now, I agree with you. He shouldn't have did the voice thing with OD. And I think it's like, now since RG3 wants to kind of be in other people's heads and tell people how they was feeling. So kind of what I'm feeling from RG3 is that he has some feelings towards black women. You know what I mean? If we're mind reading now, you know what I mean? But, I'm just guessing. And, everything checks out. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Clark, he just saying what everyone was thinking. You know what I'm saying? For real. But I agree. I do think that once you bring somebody's partner into it, wife, fiance, whatever the situation, shit gonna get tense. You know what I'm saying? Dude gonna get upset about that no matter what. So I do think he kind of crossed the line there, right? But he was saying what we was all thinking, right? And you know what? To some extent, you kind of make it fair game when you make that part of your identity, right? Because there's a lot of motherfuckers I see on TV, I don't even know what their wife look like.
No,
that's a good point. That's a good point. And honestly, bro, I didn't even feel like hearing Ryan Clark talk. I didn't feel like that was the part where he was out of bounds. I feel like the main part that Ryan Clark was out of bounds was the assumption that he made that RG3 would never have a conversation about the plight of black women in his household. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a black dude and you married to a white woman, right? It would be irresponsible, and you have black kids by this white woman. It would be very irresponsible of you to never have a conversation regarding the plight of your black children. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for Ryan Clark to assume that there's no way in hell that RG3 has ever had these conversations surrounding like black people and the plight of black people, I feel like that was a bit out of bounds, even more than like, because what he said about his wife wasn't all that crazy to me. It's not like he was like, your wife is like, he didn't say nothing negative about her. He was just like, you referring to your wife as milk, and she's more than just that, right? In my opinion, like that's kind of what he was saying. Like you objectify your wife, but then he threw on, so I know you never having these conversations. It's like, bro, you don't know what conversations a man is having in his own household, bro. So like that to me, honestly, as much as I feel like RG is a panderer, bro, to whatever you want to call the side he panders to me, what Ryan Clark did right there was a bit pandering too, because now you were making a full out of the same way RG made a full out assumption about about Angel Reese and her having hate for somebody else. Ryan Clark made a full out assumption about the conversation that's going on in this man's household when there's no way possible you could know that. Like,
well, I think he was using, the context clues. You've played with him, you've played against him, you work with him, you have his personal number. He clearly thinks RG3 is corny. Clearly. And I think it was personal, but I think it was personal on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he accidentally went out of bounds. I think he purposely provoked RG3. I don't know if he did it for the content, for the views, or if he just don't like him. Maybe a little bit of both. But I didn't think that was accidental. I thought that was a direct headshot, like boom, like you need to respond to this. And what's crazy is I remember seeing a clip of RG3 talking to another guy that had mixed kids. And I can't remember, but I feel like he said that his kids aren't black or white, like they're both. Like, I don't want to misquote it. I'm gonna look it up. I ain't have a chance today. I'm gonna look it up after the show. So
I seen something where he said the exact opposite. And I remember it vividly. And there has been conversation of other athletes and other people saying things like that. I know Tiger Woods is the infamous one, right?
Yeah.
But like I've literally heard RG3 say, and me and my wife have black children, right? So like I don't know if he's that far gone. All right. But one thing for sure about RG3 that I think I'd say probably, let's say 90, I'm gonna go on the women and say 97.5% of all black people would agree that RG3 is a cornball. He's corny. Like I would say 97.5%. And I feel strongly about that. That 2.5% that's left out, we know where they fall on most issues.
But isn't RG3 like a military kid, like move from place to place? Okay, that kind of makes you understand why he has the perspective he has and why he's missing the perspective he's missing, because you ain't really lived that experience enough. You lived your own experience, which rightfully so is a black experience, but you haven't lived the black experience. And not to say black is a monolith, but like there's certain things he can't seem to understand why people would disagree with what he did. And that's troubling, right? You should at least be able to understand and say, I think you guys are wrong. But the kind of not understand it is that's a little crazy to me.
Yeah, what I would love for someone to do is take the clip of Angel Reese, like what she actually said on the podium, and then hold it side by side to the way RG3 said what he said. Like, I would love to see that mashup, bro. Because, like, I remember that Angel Reese interview, bro. And what she was saying is so relaxed and chill. And RG3 said it with this, like, disgusting energy, bro. Like, honestly, if there was any hate, it was the energy that RG3 used when he went on the Angel Reese monologue there. It was insane, man. Anything else about this RG3 versus Ryan Clark though? Any other comments? Got anything else?
Yeah, I would just. I was gonna say I agree with you too. That I definitely think that Ryan Clark does not like RG3. I almost feel like he was waiting for an opportunity to let this out. You know what I'm saying? It feels a little personal. You know what I'm saying? This was just the situation that brought it out.
Fact. I don't think this is over. I don't think we've heard the end of the RG3 Ryan Clark. And to further my point that RG3 just has no idea, bro. Your most recent tweets after this whole back and forth, You and your wife selling booty bands. You selling you're selling a product to make your milk look like chocolate milk while still tasting like whole milk. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. You're trying to build something that should not exist.
You tripping?
I'm keeping it a buck.
So black women are the only ones that can have ass, man. What's up?
You can, but listen, you can. But
I see it though. I do see it. I see what you're coming from.
If you need a device to get it, you probably weren't meant to have it. All right. I'm just saying. Like you trying to build it, the aesthetic that you just put down. RG, I'm on to you, bro.
That was crazy work, but you got to capitalize off the moment. My biggest takeaway here, bro, is that RG3 is indeed a panderer, but I also believe that Ryan Clark panders. All right. I'm not a fan of the pandering, man.
Everybody panders.
This is true.
Kids got to pander to their parents. Husbands pander to the wives. Employees pander to the boss. Everybody panders, but it's a certain way that lacks a little bit of dignity to me. And you know what I'm saying? I think RG3 is teetering on that line. He got one more strike from me.
My man said 10,000 lashings, so that was vicious.
10,000, bro.
10,000 is crazy. 10,000, you might not make it out from 10,000.
I ain't done yet. I'm gonna tell you why it's even more crazier. Because your ancestors was probably working with angel ancestors, and now you're down in her. And whole time, your milk might have owned both of your families. Like this is crazy work from RG3. This is crazy work. All right. I know it's 2025, but the history, the context is all still there. And I really think RG3 thinks that like his actions are bridging the gap, but he's actually making the gap bigger. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. But he's really growing the divide by doing this nonsense. Anybody that's on one side of one argument all the time, you're not helping a middle ground at all. So that's all I'm gonna say, man.
I do not disagree with any of those assessments. This again, wild times. But let's move on to like what sparked all of this, back and forth to begin with, right? And it was the hard foul that Caitlin Clark delivered to Angel Reese. And if you watch more than just the clip of the foul itself, you'll see that Angel Reese pushed a Fever player right before Caitlin Clark followed up with an extremely hard foul, right? And I do want to get our thoughts on this foul, and I also want to dive into the relationship, maybe not relationship, but the
dynamic.
That's relationship, but this thing between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese that exists, why it exists, and like kind of where they both kind of stand in this relationship here. So let's start with the foul. Like, to me, it was clearly a flagrant foul, bro. It was not just a bad. They have multiple angles. I think most people only seen the one angle. If you look at the other angle, it was a foul and a push, right? This was Caitlin Clark getting back at Angel Reese for what she deemed a dirty play by Angel Reese that was missed by the refs. So she gets her back in a way that is a foul and also a bit of a get back with a push. Now, with that said, this does not rise to no flagrant 2 level to me. It's just a flagrant foul. It happens all the time in basketball. I wouldn't go as far to call it a dirty play. It's more than just a hard foul, though. It's you doing too much with that foul. It's flagrant. It's a flagrant foul. And, if y'all look up the definition of flagrant, but we all know what that means. It's unnecessary. It's not a part of the game. It's not like you was just fouling to send her to the line. You was fouling to send a message. So first and foremost, I want to get y'all's thoughts on the foul itself. Did y'all think it was more like just a basketball play, or do y'all think it went a little further than that? Jump ball.
It was a little dirty. It was a little dirty. It felt a little, much like this other situation. It felt a little personal. You know what I'm saying? It felt a little personal. So some stuff brewing beneath the surface, right? These two women are kind of like pinned against each other. Whether or not they actually dislike each other, that's a whole nother conversation. But they are pinned against each other. It's really bigger than them because like it's just like you know what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? The folks that's coming in supporting Caitlin Clark, they come in with some familiar energy. You know what I mean? Some tiki torch energy. You know what I'm saying? So like it's interesting to me. And they be bringing that energy towards the game. And honestly, it kind of feeds into it. And it kind of like gets them riled up because they feel like, hey, CC, she one of us, you know what I'm saying? White girl playing out there, you know, against these black girls and they giving them the business. So that's how they feel. And then, you know, when some shit happened to her, they all ready to defend her and shit. So, you know, I do feel like it's a lot bigger than them. But do I feel like it feeds into all of this shit? For sure. In a I want to say good way, in a positive way economically for the WNBA. Whether or not it's good or not, that's another conversation. It does create a little bit of some polarizing conflict between these two sides. And you talk because basically, and you know, you see it on the internet. Why are we talking about George Floyd and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Because like those two things really don't have anything in common other than what I told you it did, right? So like we're already there. They just not being over. It's a little bit. It's not overt. It's kind of is it. You know, it is if it isn't. But like if you know, you can see it. It's pretty obvious. Like you know what I mean. You know what's really going on.
Yeah. But you know, I want to stick for now. I want to just stick to the foul itself, right? And it seems like what you're getting at a little bit, Scruff, is like maybe Caitlin, maybe this energy is rubbing off on Caitlin Clark, and then turns into a hard foul. And I think right there, I think I got to push back on that a little bit, right? Because like I think Caitlin, I don't think that of Caitlin Clark. I think if that was if that was what's the big girl from South Carolina that's on the sky with Angel Reese? Cardoza. I think if Cardoza did the same thing, got away with a push, Caitlin Clark would have came in and fouled her the exact same way, bro. I truly believe that. I don't think Caitlin Clark saw it was Angel Reese and said, I'm going to foul her harder. I don't think she's feeding into that. And the reason I will give her the benefit of the doubt in that way is, one, bro, I've listened to the Caitlin Clark interviews, bro. She does not feed into this narrative that, like, maybe her fans are pushing, bro. Caitlin Clark never hesitates to pay homage to the people that came before her in the W, the players that are the greats in the W currently, and like, you know, just like the plight of the black woman in the W and in the America. Like Caitlin Clark is on record bringing these points up multiple times, bro. So like, I truly don't think like she lets the vitriol of her fans and like these narratives that are created outside of the game to then rub on her in the game. But it's an interesting take, and maybe it is, you know, a part of it. Maybe it is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, more or less, if you will, right?
Well,
and that could possibly be what it is. More of a self-fulfilling prophecy where these narratives exist. Now we see the hard foul, so we automatically attribute it to the narrative that already exists.
Yeah, but the person that's I got to rebut you a little bit because the person that's on the podium that's speaking after the game, it's a different person that's in the game. You know what I'm saying? Real competitors know that your true competitive side is often driven by like a dark side a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that give you that edge. You know what I'm saying? Jordan's trainer know. You know what I'm saying? So like CC on the court, she getting a lick back. You know what I'm saying? That's who she is on the court. That's not the same person she is on the podium. Yeah, pay homage, whatever, all that good stuff. She thinking very consciously in that moment. But on the court, she a different person. So I mean, I just think it's a little different when you on the court.
I agree there, which is why I think she would have done the same thing to Camila Cardoza. Like, you know, I think she would have done the same thing to a Dewana Bonner or to a Diana Taurasi, bro. I don't think she would have done anything different if she saw her teammate get pushed, missed by the ref, and she got an opportunity to give a hard foul.
I think it's personal. It's like Draymond and Gobert. It's like that. Same kind of. She ain't put her in a headlock or nothing like that, but it's the same type of. Oh, okay. Oh, where is Gobert? Gobert want to talk crazy? You feel?
See, and then to take it a step further, like, you know, I ain't trying to be like the I watch all the W games, but I watch my team consistently, and you know, earlier in the season, like in the preseason, bro, my rookie Kiki Iriafin, she had a foul that was 10 times worse than what Caitlin Clark did, bro. And it was a flagrant foul to someone that she had no beef with. It was just a result of someone getting pushed and her following up. So I just feel like, bro, this is a part of the game. I think the narrative that already exists makes us attribute this foul to that. But T, it seems like you might disagree with that. Chime in.
Yeah, man, I kind of disagree with a flagrant foul isn't part of the game. A flagrant, especially a flagrant one, is absolutely a part of the game. I think it's a great tool on defense, but I do think she did it on purpose. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is part of basketball, right? You saw your man get pushed. You look, it's actually Angel. Like, you don't forget the girl that did this and all that in your face. You don't forget that. I don't care what, like Scruff said, I don't care what you say on the podium, bro. As a hooper, as a competitor, you don't forget all my chance to get a hard foul. I'm taking the hard foul. If I get the flagrant, it's flagrant. And I think that's what it was. And you see players get flagrant foul and do not react sometimes. Don't react like, damn, that's a playoff foul. Like, whatever. But that Angel got up because she was mad. Like, that was personal. It was, like you said, it was a hard foul and a push. It wasn't just a hard foul. Just a hard foul, I give you that. The push let me know, yeah, I'm here. Like, I hear you talking. I'm here. Remember me. I'm Caitlin. All right? But does that bleed into the narrative, the bigger narrative? Yes, absolutely. I don't think that Caitlin Clark is thinking about the narrative that her fans have created for her, right? They might as well call her KK Caitlin. But they might as well. They might as well.
Come on, bro.
I'm just being honest. That's how they treat.
It's a crazy ass nickname.
Listen, man.
That's insane.
They treat that's how they treat her. KK Caitlin. That, like, it's her, Trump, David Duke.
Yo.
Bro, it's only a few people that can inspire people to make George Floyd content, and those the three. So she in the big three. Ice Cube wanted to get her in the big three. She in a different big three. Right?
Yo, you got to be stopped, bro. No, but this. Okay, so
Are you even mean to do that? But she doesn't. She does have that. I agree.
And this is the line that I got to draw between, and I'm gonna attempt to draw between what Scruff was saying, what you were saying, because Scruff seemed to be leaning into it like she feeds into this narrative that her fans have created. Are you saying she feeds into this narrative that her fans have created? Because if she's just getting back for shit like this, that's just rivalry, bro. And like we was talking in the group chat earlier about this. I feel like it's sure, for her fans, there is some racism elements to this, right? But also the other element to this is rivalry, bro. Now, are rivalries in the history of American sports often fueled by racism? Absolutely, bro. Look at Magic Bird. Look at boxing. Like, there's no bigger boxing draw than two races pitted against each other. That just is what it is, though, because people are able to connect with what looks like them. And that goes for any people. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even be mad at that per se. Now, when it goes past that to the racist rhetoric, then that's where we got to, raise the red flag. But are we all in agreement? Maybe Scruff, you not, but are we in agreement that Caitlin is not feeding in to these like terrible narratives, which I truly believe exist, right? The racist elements exist, but I also think a lot of it's being pushed by like a very small percentage, bruh. It's definitely bots out here that are contributing to it. It's definitely like a lot of, and there's also real people that are in on this like 100%. But it's like, I don't think Caitlin or I don't think the real fans of the W are really, really feeding into the racism side of it. I think they're more feeding into the rivalry side of it.
Listen.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
You don't know. And that's the problem. You don't know because a little piece of me wants to say she had a Homelander moment. It was
That's funny.
I'm just saying, a little piece of me feels like she knew she probably crossed the line a little bit, but looked around and like, oh, they like this.
yeah. That's what I'm seeing too. T. Thank you, but I don't think that's like inner, and I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark is racist and nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I agree with you, T. You know what I'm saying? That's why I mean she's feeding into it, like in the sense that like that shit happened, and like I think she sees that the people like it. So like, oh, you like when I do this? Oh, do you like that? Okay,
she ain't condoning it. she don't get on the podium and say, hey, don't call Angel ghetto. Respect black women. Nah, she respects the game. So I truly don't think she's racist, but everybody like attention, bro. Everybody like clout, and especially a certain group of people. You know what I'm saying? They like it more than the other group. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get no sexist label, so I'm just say group. All right, just say group.
For what it's worth, both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese after the game called it a basketball play and said move on. Right. So they're both on the same page of it, like, yo, this happens in the game. I mean, we've seen it. Bro, that foul and those reactions happen in the men's game. Nobody's batting an eye, bro. That shit could happen between Jaden McDaniels and Lou Dort tonight. All right, and nobody would give a damn. All right. And I think that's another part of this where I feel like it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because like if it happens to two players that no one knows about, nobody cares. And I also think like, before we get off this topic, I want to touch on the flip side of this, right? Because we've only really spoken about this issue from the Caitlin Clark perspective, but there's also the Angel Reese perspective, right? And I think the Angel Reese perspective to all this is interesting because like Caitlin Clark is in a situation where, like for instance, Caitlin Clark gonna get asked about Angel Reese this game, right? But next game, they're not gonna ask her about Angel Reese. In 10 more games, if they're not playing the Sky, they're not gonna ask her about Angel Reese, bro. But Angel Reese is gonna get asked about Caitlin Clark all damn season. You know what I'm saying? And I think like, you know, we got to also give credit, a little bit of credit for Angel Reese for how she's handling it because like their narratives are always going to be tied. But like, bruh, Angel Reese's narrative is way more tied to Caitlin Clark's than Caitlin Clark's is tied to Angel Reese at this point. And I feel like that's a part of this that kind of gets left out a bit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the part where I do feel for Angel Reese. It's like, dog, I be seeing people online saying Angel Reese is a bum. I'm like, bro, Angel Reese averaged like 13 and 12 last year, was damn near, I think, top 10 in WNBA MVP voting, made the All-Star team as a rookie. Like, if an NBA player had that rookie season that Angel Reese had, bro, and they was on your team, you would be feeling like y'all had a bright future, bro. Like, but for some reason, people look at Angel Reese and like to call her a bum. Like, bro, Caitlin Clark averaged 19 in the W last year, bro. She didn't average a 30 ball. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't going as crazy as they like to make it seem. Like I saw somebody say Caitlin Clark is like Michael Jordan and Angel Reese is Dennis Rodman. And I'm like, bro, no, they both just had really good rookie seasons. And if we comparing them, like who had the better rookie season, they're really not that far off from each other as far as rookie seasons went, dog. Like, if we being honest, and if we talking about impact that they have on games, but for some reason, because of the way the narratives are tied together, there's just like perspective from people who are mostly watching clips, they're not watching W games, that Caitlin Clark is like on a completely other stratosphere than Angel Reese. Maybe it's because she shoots threes from far out and Angel Reese has a different game, but like if this was 2K and we had overalls, like maybe Caitlin Clark is like an 88 overall, but Angel Reese is like an 85, 86. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the games are that far off from
no.
Nah, but it's the internet era, man. It's the way they be chopping this shit up. You feel me? Internet got all types of narratives, man. They chopping up the clips of Angel Reese missing short range baskets and shit, and they clipping up all the joints of Caitlin Clark, saucing them from three. That's just how it is. The people can create their own narrative, bro. They'll give you this portion of the story, like you know what I'm saying. And that's the internet. That's the era we in, and that's why all of this shit feeds into all that shit even more because they ain't even talk about no goddamn basketball. I ain't really hear people talking about the basketball game. All I hear talking about is the incident that happened during the basketball game.
Listen,
And like what you said, Bryce, the fact that they keep asking Angel Reese about this shit down the line, you don't think that feeds into it? Now the next time she played Caitlin Clark, you feel me? Now she catch her slipping, maybe she get her lick back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that feeds into it. And the people love it.
If it was Angel Reese getting that lick,
oh yeah, they gonna have her head.
Crazy talk online, bro.
Bruh, I know.
My goodness.
I know, and that's the double standard about the whole shit, man.
Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like I don't care about the numbers. I don't care about the all-star voting. I don't care about the fan base. If you have a daughter, you're not teaching her to play basketball like Angel Reese. You just not. You're teaching her how to play like Juju. You're teaching her how to play like Arike. You're teaching her how to play like Caitlin. Nobody's modeling their game after Angel Reese. Bro, if you don't miss layups, we don't have clips to use. You're out there shooting layups, barely jumping off the ground, getting your own rebound, missing again, getting your own rebound, missing again, making the layup, and then screaming. It's not a good brand of basketball, man. And I'm not saying she won't get better. But right now, Caitlin Clark's narrative isn't tied to Angel Reese. One, because Caitlin has her own fan base, and two, because her game is that much better. My game, I don't got to be tied to you because I'm better than you. I can, like, Caitlin Clark dominates the game. The ball's in her hand most of the game. Angel Reese is out there setting screens. The screen guy ain't never been the best player on the team. Never. The screen guy ain't never been the most popular player on the team. And I don't want to compare her to Rodman. I don't think Rodman is fair, but she's probably closer to Barkley.
All right, bet. Like I agreed, bro. And Barkley was.
I would say it's more like Malone, maybe.
Bro. Like Barkley was that dude. He was in the league, bro. He was a top 3-4 player in the league his whole career, and I agree with that assessment, bro. And I don't think Caitlin Clark right now she ain't Jordan, bro. Now she might become Jordan. Like, who knows, bro? But like, they were both rookies and both had great rookie seasons. Caitlin Clark was better. Caitlin Clark is better. I'm not trying to say the same, right? But like the way people like to call Angel Reese a bum online right now is crazy to me, bro. After the rookie season she just had, bro. It's crazy to me.
Bro, you know who she is, man? What's my man that played for the Heat? The center that had a year or two and then was never good again.
Talking about big boy, man, Whiteside.
That's who Angel Reese is. Hassan Whiteside. Get down there, block some shots.
That's disrespectful
for us. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Hassan Whiteside.
Time will tell, bro. Like, let's not forget, Angel Reese was a great college basketball player, bro. Like, time will tell how good both of them are. I do think when we look back, Caitlin Clark will be the better player in the history of the W, but I don't think Angel Reese is going to be a slouch.
She's not. And I think off the court, Angel has a lot of value.
That's the part that people are not talking about. You know what I'm saying? Cool. We talking about the basketball thing and all that, but you know what I'm saying? Caitlin Clark bringing a lot to the game, of course, but Angel Reese bringing a lot to the game. You feel me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She actually, you know what I'm saying? Most of the money she's making not from the WNBA. It's from her brand. It's from how she's running her business, from how she's handling her business. It's about endorsements. It's about image. It's about this culture that we're in. She's managing it properly. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that makes her as big as Caitlin Clark.
But that's the bring it full circle. That's why what RG3 is doing is crazy, right? We get a successful Black woman elevating an entire industry, entire sport, at least helping. And you basically call her the ghetto, saying she's a typical angry Black woman. Like, you giving us the racist narrative on one of the brightest Black young stars we have in sports. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of stuff. That's a good comment. Her brand is bigger than her game. That's
a great comment.
It feeds into the brand. So when you see a young Black girl that wants to wear the same clothes as Angel Reese, now you start calling her ghetto. Now you start saying this is a bad person. That make it harder on the girl that's in high school. It's just taking her fashion sense from Angel Reese. But now she ghetto because she You know what I'm saying? Like that's what make RG3 crazy, and that's what make this racist narrative crazy. Like, bro,
That's a good point.
We can hate Angel's game, but when you start calling her ghetto and trash, and that's when it get crazy.
I
The
agree.
brand, all right, it could be bigger than the game because at the end of the day, they paying more for the brand than the game. So if anything, I think that makes it smart. You feel me?
And I think another thing too that is gonna get lost in all of this is that, like, bruh, if I'm being completely honest, and this might come off wrong, but all of this, and we had this conversation a few years back, and y'all was mad at me a little bit what I said about the women's game. All of this shit, when we're talking about from a marketing perspective, when we're talking about from growing the W, all of this shit is good for the W, bro. And I hate that it is good for the W, bro. Although it's negativity, bro, the Ryan Clark RG3 shit, bro, in the grand scheme of growing the W itself, it's all good for it. It's like that talk good or bad about me, but as long as you're talking about me, I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? Good talk or bad talk is all good talk, right? It's that type of energy, bro. As long as people are discussing the W, it's going to continue to grow the game. And with that said, I feel like Caitlin Clark is large and as big as she's gotten, bro. She is not this large without Angel Reese, bro. And I do think like Angel Reese might be this exact same person and brand without Caitlin Clark. That's not to say Caitlin Clark still wouldn't be bigger. You know what I'm saying? But as big as Caitlin Clark is right now, bro, it's these very things that grow her legend and grow her brand.
Nah,
to me, I think the rivalry made them both bigger.
You bring up a good point, right? It's like I say in the movies, man. Every good hero needs a good villain. That's why I love a good villain because I mean, shoot, you look at the Batman movies. It's Bane, it's the Jokers. You know what I'm saying? That make the movie what it is. It's Joffrey in Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? You need a good villain. So Angel's being villainized, and you need a good villain. But let's villainize her game and how she plays the game and not who she is as a person. But look at the comments. No such thing as bad publicity. I'm old enough. Y'all might not be old enough for this. I'm old enough to remember people only watching the Lakers game to see if Magic Johnson was going to bleed.
Crazy.
Wow. That's disgusting.
Listen, so as long as a view is a view is a view from a marketing standpoint, right? It doesn't matter why you're viewing. They don't care what put your eyes on it. As long as they got your eyes on it, so it is good for the game. I think they still in that 80s era because back to that flagrant foul happens in every level of women's basketball because that's just how their style of basketball right now. That's the 80s. It's the bad boy Pistons. It's hard fouls. Mm-hmm. When they get their Jordan, hopefully it's Juju. But when they get their Jordan, the game will evolve because our scorers need to score because that's what fans want to see.
Bro, real shit, bro. We are right now, and people want to say Caitlin is Jordan, but if we hold it to the NBA, they in a Magic and Larry era, bro. Like that's the era they really in right now, dog. Yep. And hopefully, and maybe it's Juju, maybe it's somebody even better, right? But like it's gonna be someone that comes along and kind of push it even further, bro. And that's the beauty of the W right now, bro. It's the best time right now to really be rocking with the W, dog. Like, cause it's only going up. It's only going up. So shout out to the whole W wave. Shout out to all the ladies getting it in. You know what I'm saying? I hope more people tune into the games and watch it. Cause to me, it's a great product. It's a different product. It's not the NBA, right? So you got to accept that from jump. But it is a very, very good product, man. So we're moving on from this conversation. We're going to talk more W. If you're tuning in with us right now, make sure you follow at Good Ass Sports on all social media platforms. Go ahead and search Gas Sports Network on YouTube, on all the podcast platforms. Make sure you subscribe, like the videos. All right, next topic I want to jump into, fellas. I got to get y'all's thoughts on this, man. Did y'all see your man AB, bro, Antonio Brown, man? Y'all, yo, I don't know if y'all peeped this. I don't know if the viewers peeped this, but I had to bring it up. There was some sort of Aiden Ross stream. Aiden Ross is one of these new streamers who's gotten pretty large. I don't know too much about him, but I know AB rocking with him, bro. And it looked like AB was in the midst of getting jumped when my man upped the pole and just started letting that thing loose, man. Like I was like, yo, AB, man. how far he has fallen. It was one point where I felt like Antonio Brown was on a trajectory to be like possibly in one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver ever. I really thought like he was on that trajectory, bro. Like I was like, dog, I could really see AB becoming right after the name right after Rice in everybody's top 5. And to look where he is now, bro, it's sad to see, dog. It's sad to see, man. Now I do think it's the CT ESPN shit is kind of hilarious at times, but even some of the things that come out about him, like he had the stuff coming out with him and Keisha Cole, and it's always something wild. It feels like surrounding AB. So just want to get y'all's thoughts, man. Did y'all see this whole AB situation, brothers? What was y'all's thoughts when y'all saw that? T, I'm gonna start with you.
Listen, man, I only looked at it a little bit, bro. It was one of them videos I looked at, scrolled through because it's so on brand. It's so on brand, and it's sad because I can't picture AB in another 10 years. Like I don't know what that looks like for him. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, all right, you shoot warning shots, but you putting yourself in situations that you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire. Sometimes you gotta know when you won the game already. You're a millionaire. How much publicity do you need? You going on these, bro? Aiden Ross is on the Kai Cenat and all of that type level. Like you could have kept playing football and you would have been a bigger name. But you out here making music, running around, doing a bunch of nonsense, man. I just hope he don't throw his life away some way, whether it's drugs, or overdose, jail time, allegations. Everybody getting allegations. Even Hassau's got allegations now. You know what I'm saying? You dribble off a few heads and now you're going to jail. So listen, I just want the best for AB, man. Hopefully he gets some therapy, get some treatment, but like fighting on Aiden Ross is probably in his 20s, like bro, fighting on one of these young streams, getting jumped and all that. And it's not like he was punishing people in the fight. You know, I want to see an NFL player moving people like club security. AB was fighting for his life in there. He was swinging all wild. AB looked like he ain't never been in a fight in his life, man. So I don't know, man. I don't want that for AB. I don't really want that for nobody. But yeah, AB gotta do better, man. You thoughts and prayers for AB. You know it's bad when you need thoughts and prayers for somebody still alive.
Nah, that's a fact, bro. He did show that football athleticism though, because when they got him to the ground, my man got up quick.
He got up the ground.
He did, but he got up like yo, most normal people might have been out, bro. They might have gotten to the ground and had their way. My man got up. He got a little spin move, got up with the quickness. But yeah, it's a bad look for AB. Scrub, what's your thoughts on AB, man?
Honestly, man, yeah, it's good. You know, I feel like some people find it entertaining. I find it kind of sad to watch. It's hard for me to watch somebody who had great success just look like a shell of themselves. When I see AB, I look at things very, very, very black and white sometimes, and I see a liability.
That's crazy coming off the Caitlin Clark.
I didn't mean it like that. I just mean like, yeah, I get you. I get it. It did sound kind of crazy, but from a black and white perspective of like, are you doing something that's positive, like a net gain, or are you doing something that's a liability? And like I even look at people in life like that, like people that I'm associating with in life. Like, are you an asset or are you a liability? And every time I look at AB, like if I'm throwing a party and these are social circles that I'm running in, and he asked me if we inviting AB, I'm saying no because I'm seeing a liability. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can count on the fact if I know AB's in the news, he's doing some wild shit, right? That's what T said. He's looking crazy. And I said, I can't remember really anything that he hasn't been looking crazy in the last 2 years. So all he does is look crazy. And I agree, he's heading down the wrong path. To this point, we all kind of enjoy. I guess it's entertaining to a degree, but it's sad to me. And like it is heading down the wrong path. And I hate to say this, I really do, but it's only going to end in one or two ways. He said that he playing like you got to remember when you won the game, right? So when you start won the game, you just out here just doing crazy shit. You Super Mario jumping from the walls and shit until you end up out the game. You feel me? The plug end up getting pulled, or you end up in the situation. So I mean, for me with AB, it's like dog. He on the crash out. It's like only a matter of time. I feel like with the CTE shit, where we gonna be talking about him in the 30 for 30. You know what I'm saying? After he's no longer with us. Or if he end up doing enough nut shit, he'll end up in prison, bro, because he doing nut shit. You know, he doing enough nut shit that he can end up in prison. Because the point where I'm like, okay, you kind of like a menace to society, bro. Like, for real. Like, he kind of a menace to society, for real. In his own way. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not Diddy. But, like, you know, he in his own way, he's a menace to society. He a wild card motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
He's definitely a wild card. He's definitely a wild card, bro. And like, and just to echo your sentiment a little bit, it is sad, bro. It's more sad than it is anything else because like he was such a talent, bro. And when he came into the league, he was so positive in all of his interviews. But maybe he always had this wild card spirit, you know. But like he was like his old interviews, man. He was just like he was such a positive dude. And it brings me to the question. So. What brought me to this question even made me want to mention this topic. I was watching the Joe Budden podcast, and they jumped into the conversation about AB, and then they transitioned it to like top 5 wide receivers. And I just felt like, why? And I'm a fan of the JBP, you know what I'm saying? But I just felt like they were so unqualified to have the top 5 receiver talk because some of the shit they were saying was just. They put Chad Ochocinco in the top 5 all time. I'm like, what are we even talking about in here, bro? Like. They just were so unqualified to have the top 5 receiver conversation. And I felt like AB, to me, was on that trajectory top 5. Like, if you just take his, like, 3 or 4 year span with Big Ben, bro, like, it's a crazy run. Like, it's not too many runs better than his short 4 or 5 year run with Big Ben. But my question is, like, where is AB as far as y'all's all-time receiver rankings, and who are y'all's top 5 receivers? Scrub, I'm going to start with you here.
Oof, that's tough. I will say this, right? It's not the question that you asked me, but this is what I feel.
You got a way of doing that. You got a way of coming up with it. All right,
it's not the question that you asked me, but AB to me, it's not like in terms of like total cumulative work. Yes, he is not probably in the top 5. I had to really sit and look at the list. All right, but. In terms of highest quality of performance, skill set, awareness, like, you know what I mean? Like performance and just flat out being a fucking monster machine. This AB was probably one of the best of all time. You know, we hear the legends talking about him, right? Edelman and shit. He was like, you remember when we had AB for like 3 practices? Motherfucking ball ain't hit the ground, they said. You know what I'm saying? If motherfucker Tom Brady ready to have that motherfucker in his house. You know how good he got to be? His nut ass in your house. You want to win that bad? You were to have that crazy ass motherfucker in the house. I just told you about how I felt about the guy. He was the same guy 3 years ago. Just with, you know, he was at least a little busy, a little more occupied. Now he just got nothing but time on his hands. But anyway, the fact that Tom Brady was willing to have that man in his house, you know, crazy. But in terms of top receivers of all time, you know what I mean? There's number 1 is none other than Jerry Rice. Number 2 for me is Randy Moss. Oh man. And after that, it gets kind of tough. It's kind of a pick 'em if we're being honest. I'll probably have to put T.O. number 3. Hell of a career, man. Hell of a career. Yeah, I know. You know. I know. You mad? I'm mad. We all mad. T.O. fucked us all over, bro. He beat us. You know what I'm saying? Not as crazy. At least T.O. can contain himself. Man. He do a little better than A.B. post-retirement. Somebody that no one else is probably going to put in their top 5, but I'm going to put in my top 5. Marvin Harrison. It's the quiet ones, man. Marvin Harrison was a motherfucking dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? And sure, he was with Peyton Manning. But Marvin Harrison, bro, crazy good. This is gonna be tough, man.
But you're at 4 right now, right? So you got one more. Who's your 5?
I go Calvin Johnson.
All right, that's a respectable list. So you went Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, T.O., Marvin Harrison, Calvin Johnson. All right, that's respectable. I can't give you too much pushback there. T, who's your top five?
The thing about the top five, man, that outside of Rice, I could hear arguments either way for probably the next 2 through 7-ish, 2 through 8 maybe. So I think a better list is probably your favorite five, but the top five, I'm gonna go Rice, and then after that, I pretty much rank them in who do I think would be the hardest to cover. Like if you took the best corner of all time, and a lot of people would say Dion, who would give Dion the most problems? So the next one on my list is Calvin Johnson. I think Calvin Johnson would absolutely give everybody else a problem trying to defend him. So, right, salute to that. Hey, so we going Rice, Johnson, Moss, maybe it's probably gotta be Harrison, and then probably AB. Like it's maybe AB. Like I said, my list is kind of based on who's the hardest to cover because T.O. gave people fits, but so did Antonio Brown, man. And I've heard people talk high of both, but when you hear people talk about AB, like they talk like unguardable, like can run every route, can line up every position on the field, could take back kicks if you needed him to. So I think AB is probably in that top five, but for all them silly antics, I got to kick him out. Got to kick him out, man. All them antics, you disrupted the locker room. So we got to. I'm gonna probably throw Tim Brown in there. Throw Tim Brown in there. Throw y'all for a loop. Throw my man Tim Brown in there. You can't forget the OGs.
You know you got to throw in there too. Larry Fitz, man, is in that conversation. No. Yes, he is. Hell yeah.
He ain't in my top nothing.
Okay, fine. But one thing I'll say about AB, life's all about choices, man. If he would have stayed with the Patriots and he would have made that shit work and they would have won a Super Bowl, did he win a Super Bowl with Tampa?
No.
He threw his jersey off.
Oh man, yeah. If he would have won a Super Bowl, one Super Bowl with Tom, bro, I think he could have got himself in that top five, bro. He couldn't stay on the straight and narrow. But that's when he started going down this crazy ass path when he took his shirt off and shit.
No, he been crazy. He had been crazy.
Nah, I know, but like, he was crazy, but he was holding it together. He was catching footballs playing on Sunday. That's what we talking about.
To leave a team that's on a Super Bowl trajectory.
Hey, bro, ripped his jersey off. Was going stupid out there. Yo, you may be different, bro. But y'all got some good lists, bro. It's hard to push back on any of these lists. I agree with that comment. Moss and T.O. was freaks, man. It's hard for me to leave either of them off my list. Top five, I go, and I thought about this. I thought about this long, man, because I'm like, dog, like I don't want to get it wrong, but I feel like there is no right answer here. As long as if you got 7 or 8 guys in your top five, like you can't be wrong. If it's 8 guys that they're not in your top five, then I'm looking at you sideways. But if you have these 8 guys, I don't care what the order is, as long as Jerry Rice is number 1. So number 1, obviously, I got Jerry Rice. But my number 2 is T.O., bro. And like I base this is like this could be a little bit of like generation bias, you know what I'm saying? But like I've been watching football my whole life. I have never seen a receiver be able to like just purely take over games at any given moment the way T.O. was able to, bro. Like he and his stats are not all that, or not as crazy, or not stupid crazy, but like he was doing it well into like age 40. Even with the Bengals, he was still cooking Bengals, bro. Like y'all forget about T.O. playing opposite Chad Ochocinco and being the best receiver on the field, like which was crazy. So I go T.O. 2 after Jerry. I got Randy Moss as a close 3, very close. I go Megatron 4. I feel like Calvin Johnson was that dude. I feel like Calvin Johnson would be higher on my list if he sustained his career a little longer. He bowed out like on some Andre Ward shit. Like he bowed out on top, which I respect. But 3-4 more years of Calvin Johnson, and maybe we put him in the Rice talk, right? if Calvin Johnson probably could have kept playing on the Detroit Lions to this moment where they became this team now, and then he's just now bowing out type shit, like the way he was built. And then 5, bro, I gotta go Julio, bro. I gotta go Julio. Julio has some of the, and bro, I ain't gonna sit here and act like Julio was the best route runner ever. He was a good route runner, but he wasn't the best one ever. But Julio, man, had some of the craziest seasons of all time, bro. 1,800 yards, 1,600 yards. And people love to give Matt Ryan so much credit, but I think Julio made Matt Ryan, bro. And like Julio, to me, is the reason that Falcons offense has so much success, bro. Like Tony Gonzalez was running a 5.2 40, bro. But Julio was on one side and like just left the middle of the field wide open for Tony Gonzalez to keep eating late in his career. So Julio is my number 5. But again, I feel like it's 8 or 9 names. As long as you got them on your list, and as long as Jerry Rice is number 1, you really can't go wrong, bro.
Julio better than Tyreek Hill?
I think so. Tyreek Hill is another one, though, that's like
he's getting in the combo.
No, he's getting in the conversation. And then it's like if we talk about route running, is Tyreek Hill that? Nah, but like Tyreek Hill's like a Steph Curry. Like he's got the one thing that you can't take it away no matter what you do. And he's 32 or 31 now, still running past everybody. Like y'all know how I've been feeling about Reek, bro. I feel like Justin Jefferson just took the number 1 receiver crown away from him this past season. Y'all know I've been saying Tyreek Hill wide receiver number 1 in the league for a minute now. So I do think Reek is in that conversation at this point, dog. But I also think that Justin Jefferson's on the trajectory to be like the Jared. Like I don't know how long he's gonna go on this level, but like he could take the number 1 crown from Jerry Rice, bro. It's possible. It's possible, bro. Remember I said this, yo.
The quarterback situation too shaky. He gonna have to. JJ McCarthy gonna have to be him. Put it like that. Because one thing all these
Kirk wasn't him.
Listen,
he was still getting his.
Everybody on that list has a quarterback attached to their name.
That's a fact. But like Justin Jefferson's quarterback is Kirk, and that Bama put up a 2,000 yard. Didn't he have 2K? Like
I don't know if he had
anywhere close to it.
Yeah, close. When he had 18, maybe.
Justin different, bro. Like that might be. He might go down. He's got GOAT potential, bro. I'm just saying, like GOAT potential for JJ. But that's a good conversation, man. Hey, drop y'all's top 5 in the comments. I want to know what y'all's top 5 are, bro. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't got 8 or 9 names that we mentioned about 7 of them, if you don't at least have these 7 or 8 names in your list, bro, I'm questioning your list, dog. But yeah, you're right. He had 1,800. That's still crazy amount. Justin Jefferson, he on that trajectory. We'll see where he lands.
100 a game. It's 100 a game. They got one more game though. You got to consider that though.
That is a fact. But yeah, you're right.
Nah, why we ain't considering when Saquon was going for 2,000?
He didn't play in the last game.
Okay.
Hey, yo, Eagles fan on it. All right, let's keep it pushing, man. Y'all know we got to talk now, man. We saved the current sports for last today, and we talking conference finals, man. Obviously, it got kicked off today with the Thunder going against the Timberwolves. Where we at with that game? I haven't looked at the update.
Thunder won.
Thunder won comfortably.
Like 10, I think it was.
Did Ant come back, or did he stay hurt?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good series.
Oh, my bad. It was 14 plus 12, 26 they won by.
They won by 26. God damn, they blew that shit out.
When the Thunder start getting on them runs, man,
they do. They're a team of runs, and I personally feel like, yo, when it's all said and done in this series, it's really gonna come down to whose best player is better. Like y'all know how I be, bro. Y'all know how I be all the time. I'll be like, yo,
I'm with you too.
Y'all know I've had these moments where I say like, whichever quarterback wins this game is better. Every once in a while, I go to that. Every once in a while.
That's not this case though.
Not this time.
All right, cool. But to me it is, bro. To me it is.
You can say that between Halliburton and Brunson.
Nah, I'm saying that right now between the Thunder and the Wolves, bro. Because I think at the end, and don't get me wrong, it is not gonna look like that right now because the Thunder just blew them out. I get it, bro. But when this series is all said and done, is what it's going to come down to me. Whose best player is actually better? And I don't think we're looking at a series where the Thunder run away with this, dog. See, a game one at home, Thunder's supposed to win that. They really supposed to win it big.
Mm-mm.
I think we're looking at 7 games in this series.
Mm-mm. I don't think so. First thing first. Tonight determined the series, in my opinion.
5 tops.
Really, that's saying a lot.
5 tops. Hey, the Thunder can score the ball so fast and so easily that it's going to be tough for every team that's left. I mean, bro, you come out and blow out a team after battling with the Nuggets. Like, that was a 7-game slugfest, and you come out and you say, nah, we're going to run it up again. We're going to drop 120. Bro, that's a team that can score 150, 160. Like, they score in bunches. They got a bunch of players. That's why I don't think it's best player, because SGA doesn't have to score 50 for them to score 125.
Agreed. That's what I saw tonight. So I was saying, I feel like I thought this was the Timberwolves game to win, in my opinion. I'm going to tell you why. Because what T said, they just played, like, they had less rest. Like, the Timberwolves had less rest. The Thunder had less rest going into this game than the Knicks will have going into their game tomorrow, right? Pacers and all that shit. So it's like they kind of screwed them over. So it's like, okay, they just played in a game 1 on Sunday, game 7 on Sunday, and now they played in another game, and the Knicks still haven't played. That's weird. So I thought, like, the fact that the Timberwolves had more rest, that they should have took advantage and they should have won this game. But the fact that they didn't is concerning to me. I don't think they're not out of this series by any stretch of the imagination, but I agree with you. Like, when the Thunder are rolling, they're the best team in the NBA. Like, when they're rolling, but there's times when they're not always rolling, right? But like, when they're rolling, and we've seen that happen in Game 7 too. They put the Thunder out. I mean, they put the Nuggets out of the game.
If you
include
the playoffs, that's a team that hasn't lost more than 25 games the entire season. Yeah. That's crazy. That's how much better they are than teams. I don't care if you can play them close once or twice. They're that much better than teams. When Boston did this last year, we knew they were going to win. Well, I knew when the who else had a season like this where they just couldn't stop? The Warriors. When the Warriors had that season when they scored all them points, man, like, it's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another reason why I feel like I was seeing this wrong a little bit. I was getting into the hype of the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? But I'm mistaken. I believe the Thunder are going to win it all potentially, because the way it's looking is because I think they're the best defensive team left too. I looked up at the game. I was making dinner and I noticed it was 24-24, and it was like the second quarter, like halfway through the second quarter, and it's 24-24. It's like, dog, they play crazy defense, and they strap it up. And then when they finally start getting hot, you forget about it. Like, it's like fucking, you're getting bombed. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're getting strapped. Like, you cannot score. And then they just start going on an offensive onslaught on you. Like, you can't really beat that. It's hard to beat it. So I don't think the people stand a chance.
Y'all glazing right now, bro. I like the Thunder, dog. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the Thunder. I like what they building. But the reason why I say this game is going to come down to whose best player is better, bro, this game is not going to be decided by a game 1 blowout. I'm not concerned about a game 1 blowout in which Anthony Edwards goes down early in the second. Like, bro, I'm not concerned. Really not concerned about a game 1 blowout, period, when the home team should come out and go crazy with all the home momentum. Like, that's kind of what's supposed to happen, bro. I would have been way more concerned if, like, the Thunder lost. I would have been concerned with the Thunder if they lost on a last-second shot or some shit. But this game's going to come down to the close games. And the close games are where the best player is going to have to decide which team gets the W, right? And this is where I think the Timberwolves have a shot. Every game is not going to go like this one, bro. Every game's not going to go like this one. I think that we'll be looking at a 2-2 series going into Game 5. If this happens in Game 5, this same type of game happens, then I'm a bit concerned. But I don't see the Thunder going up 3-0 on the Timberwolves. I don't see Ant-Man going out like that. I think that as good as as deep as the Thunder are, because the Thunder strength is in depth, right? They're a very deep ball club. But I think that the Timberwolves' strength is in their grit and experience. We're talking about a team that has multiple veterans that have been in a good amount of situations. I'm talking about Mike Conley's, right? Gobert, Julius Randle's, right? These, you've got a good squad of vets. And I think that will eventually show itself in this series. Now, am I expecting? I do expect the Thunder to win in 7 games because I think SGA will show that right now he's a bit better than Ant. But I'm expecting a 7-game series, and I expect like the games when they get to Minnesota will be tougher play games. But I think Minnesota wins both those games at home. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. I don't know. Y'all seem to be feeling like the Thunder can't do no wrong. I just watched the Thunder go Game 7 with a Nuggets team who looked like they didn't really, they were really out of sorts, if I'm being honest. A team that lost their coach with 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left in the season. A team that's relying on Russell Westbrook, right, who's a shell of himself. A team who's like second best player in the series was Christian Brown.
What's crazy?
Once Aaron Gordon got hurt, like they were relying on Christian Brown and Julian Strother. Like,
the narratives change so quickly, man. It's crazy because I feel like we were on this show talking about how Westbrook, man, the Nuggets got the best version of Russell Westbrook. Yeah, he finally feel like he found a home and shit. Now he making the right plays. This is the version of Russell Westbrook the Thunder wish they had and shit. Like that's what we was talking about.
I don't know who said that. I don't know any team that wish they had that.
I believe it was you. We was talking about Aaron Gordon. Oh man, Aaron Gordon.
I said wait, no.
It's crazy, man. How good Aaron Gordon is. Aaron Gordon is so good.
Get out of here, bro. I said Aaron Gordon. I said Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. switched trajectories. That's what I said, bro. Okay, I never said shit about Russell Westbrook, bro. Get out of here.
I believe there was some positivity on the side of the Nuggets not that long ago, man. So
right, and what happened, bro?
The fact that they're this disheveled team now.
No.
They handle business against the Clippers.
Aaron Gordon went down with a grade 2 hamstring.
He ain't go down. He played in Game 7
on one leg.
Okay, that's his business.
So the second best player had one leg, bro. That's his fault. What are you talking about?
You played the game. You can't tell. But you can't.
And Julian Strother. All right,
you can't tell me he went down when he was up. He was playing in the game. He ain't go down. He was up.
I'm just gonna never mind that, bro, because that was crazy. That was a crazy.
Nah, but
yo, no, like I mean, come on, bro. Aaron Gordon was a shell of himself. The guy that has saved them all series was playing on one leg in a Game 7, bro, and we're giving the Thunder a whole bunch of credit for that game. Like they didn't have their second best player. Cool. They blew the Timberwolves out Game 1, bro. The whole series not going like Game 1, dog. I guarantee you that. Unless his ant injury is something serious, but I doubt that's the case. We'll see where it lands. But I think the Timberwolves are going to fight back. I think this series goes 7 as well. And I feel like I honestly believe Ant Edwards is made for these type of moments.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think the Thunder are gone. I do see what you're saying. The 2 + 2 should equal 4 here. Like in a sense that, like, sure, the Nuggets were beaten down a little bit, right? But they did have an MVP, 3-time MVP, probably should be the MVP this year. You know what I'm saying? Other than SGA having a hell of a year. But like, let's not forget, like, they're not championship caliber team or experience anyway. So I see that as a positive. They beat a championship experience team with players that have won it before. So I do think that's a good thing. I think that they're ramping up. They got the engine going now. You feel me? It's like a motherfucking locomotive. You know what I'm saying? That shit rolling and rolling and rolling now. And that momentum is going to carry them. And I think it's going to carry them a little further in this series. And that's why I think they're going to beat them in 6. But theoretically, I see why you would go 7. And I think it could go 7. But I think that the momentum is going to carry them. I feel like they finally are fully rolling. And now I think they might steamroll everybody. Like, I don't think they're going to sweep nobody. I think it goes 6.
I think it goes 5. The Thunder just have the ability to throw so many different matchups at you, man. Like, they can keep tinkering within the game until they find one that works and run it up. And all of those guys appear to be selfless. Like, it appears to be a team, a unit. They look like they're having fun. And that's one thing. When a team looks like they're having fun together, man, they're hard to beat. So I got the Thunder at 5, if not a sweep. I think Ant's injury is probably more serious than people think. Anytime you take an ankle injury and you actually go to the locker room, typically you either getting a painkiller or an X-ray. And as a hooper, typically you don't need a painkiller on the spot for an ankle injury unless it's more serious than a day. So I think he really hurt that ankle. And if he do get to the finals and he does find a way to win, historic run. But I think Thunder just got too much momentum right now.
Yeah, they're a deep squad, man, and I think their strength is in depth. We'll see where it lands. I mean, I'm excited to see how this series plays out because I think I think folks is glazing the Thunder right now, and I like the Thunder, bro, but I don't think they're quite as good as people are making them out to be in this very moment. It all looks good, but that 7 games with the Nuggets showed me a lot and showed me that they do have weaknesses, and most of their weaknesses to me come from a lack of experience. And the only way to gain experience is to be in these moments. So we'll see how it shakes out.
Jokic is the best player in the world. That's what that was.
Yeah, he is, but he didn't really have he didn't have an amazing series, bro.
Also, Chet was drafted to that team as a potential generational talent. So it's not like Chet is something to sneeze at. It just happens to be SGA's team. You know what I'm saying? Arguably the other guys aren't playing with generational talents. You know what I'm saying? So I understand Jokic being slowed down by throwing bigs at him.
That's a good point.
Thunder gonna win the chip, man.
We'll see.
We'll see. I think, bro, right now the way I'm feeling is I think the champion comes from the Eastern Conference. So let's get into this next this next series of conference finals. We're talking about the New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. And I do believe that, and unfortunately, because I don't really want to see these teams winning, but I do believe that the champion comes out of the East this year. And we got 2 teams that no one probably would have expected to be in the championship this year, if we're being honest. But both are led by great lead guard play and a solid cast of a solid supporting cast on both sides. So where are we landing with this Pacers Knicks series? Who y'all got coming out on top? And in how many games? Scruff, starting with you.
Man, I do feel like we should be cautious about sleeping on the Pacers. Somehow, here they are again in the conference championship. Now, they were the product of some very fortunate circumstances. You going against the Bucks and they're hurt. You going against the Cavs and they were hurt. So I do feel like unless multiple players on the Knicks go down, I'm sorry, I got to sleep on them again because I just don't see it. I do see the Knicks winning the series because, man, Captain Clutch, that's what we calling them, right? Jalen Brunson, bruh, going crazy, having one of the most prolific, playoffs. The dude hits the crazy shots. The only thing working against the Knicks is stamina and fatigue. Because why the hell was Coach Thibodeau playing all those damn starters in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left when they up 50?
You trying to
Nobody understand that.
Nervous, man.
I'm like, what's going on? I'm around bettors and shit. They try to get their props off. And I'm like, Coach, what is we doing here, bro? Take the guys out, man. We gonna run them boys to the ground. And that's why I don't think the East win the championship, because I think the Knicks win this series. But I don't think they got enough gas to get all the way to the finals if they keep beating them down like that, man. They got a decent bench. They had to play the goddamn bench. But anyway, the Knicks is crazy, man. They strapped like crazy roster. They built a hell of a team, man. And they got championship pedigree players. These Villanova kids, these kids know how to hoop. Feel me? They are real basketball players. So I like Brunson. I like the combination of the wings with OG and Newbie and Mikal Bridges, who are just like lanky, crazy defenders that can also shoot the ball pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Hart out here who plays 6'3", but he plays like he's 6'10". You know what I'm saying? And then you got Cat zesty ass. Oh, doing all types of funny shit. Like that dude is so funny, bro, to me. And I want to see him in the finals just for the funny moments. Dude, he got on the stage. He said, "Yeah, well, I was coming up in New York." He was talking crazy, yo, Cat crazy, bro. But yo, he cracked me up, bro. But he kind of had like a coming out game, in my opinion. That was he played real big in Game 7. He's not that kind of coming out, but that's for another day for Cat. But yeah, man, I want to see Cat. I think the Knicks got what it takes. I just don't see it for the Pacers. I do feel like Halliburton's had a hell of a run, but to me, the best player on that team is really Siakam. So I think in order for the Pacers to really make a huge really, I don't know. I don't think they can win. But unless Siakam has like a crazy series, I don't foresee it because like they can't just basically they need Siakam to play out of his mind in order for them to win. Like Halliburton can't do it alone against the Knicks. Maybe I'll take back the best player thing. But what I'm saying is that in order for them to win, Siakam needs to be their best player. How about that?
So what you're telling me is the Pacers go as far as Pascal Siakam takes them.
That's right.
Russ, I'm never gonna let you live down the Sixers go as far as Tobias Harris takes them, bro. That was a hilarious take.
Hey, but you was right on the Celtics, bro. They did go as far as what's that boy's name? Derek White. As far as Derek White took him.
I told you about that one. But yeah, yo, I think you bring up some good points, man. And I do really feel like this is a toss-up series. Before you went on your rant there, I felt like I was leaning Pacers. And now I'm kind of feeling like it's a little more even. It's very even, but now I feel like maybe the Knicks get it done. I do feel like the Knicks, y'all know I'm an Anunoby fan, bro. I've been an Anunoby fan since he came out of Indiana. Wanted him to go to my Wizards, man. But OG is a problem, and I feel like when you pair him with Miles Bridges, that was just the perfect matchup to play the Celtics. And I feel like the Knicks planned their whole squad around defeating the Celtics, bro. But now you got a team that your squad is not really built to stop. All right, your squad not really built to stop the Pacers like that. And this is why, bro. In my opinion, first off, let's think back to last year, bro. Who was the unheralded hero for the Pacers in their run to the conference to as far as they made it last year? Who was their unheralded hero? It was Andrew Nembhard, bro. That was the reason. He was the reason that they made it to that level. All right, cool. Let's say you got Josh Hart guarding Andrew Nembhard, bro. Let's say you take him out the game, bro. Now you have nobody to really guard Tyrese Halliburton. I get it. We're going to try to put Bridges on him. To me, Bridges is more of a player you want defending the wing, right? But now you're playing a team that you really didn't prepare. You didn't really think that this was the team you was going to have to beat to go to that chip. And I feel like the matchup and the way the Pacers win, the way the Pacers play is not the perfect matchup for the Knicks, in my opinion, dog, right? Another reason. The Pacers were the Knicks were able to negate a lot of what the Celtics like to do because they had their two bigs, right, on the defensive end, Cat and Mitchell Robinson, right? What the Celtics want to do is they want to shoot a whole bunch of threes, but they want to shoot them with their smalls and their wings, and they want to drive off of that action, right? But the Pacers are the opposite. They want to stretch the floor with Miles Turner and want to drive with their wings. You know what I'm saying? So like we're trying to get to the midi with Pascal Siakam. We're trying to get to the cup with Obi Toppin, right? We're not just trying to jack up 100 threes a game with all of our wing players. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like these matchups are really going to come into play when it comes to this series. And this is why I think like from a matchup perspective, the Pacers will have the edge. I think from a talent perspective, the Knicks have the edge, but I really, really like the Pacers matchup going against a team that wasn't necessarily built to stop a team like the Pacers. I think you made a really good point about Pascal Siakam. He's going to have to play very well in this series. And guess what, dog? Pascal Siakam has done this before, bro. He's been on an excellent Robin run with the Batman and Kawhi Leonard, where Pascal Siakam played out of his mind as well to bring the Raptors the championship, bro. So we're talking about there's only going to be one player on that floor that's done this before, dog. On this whole on both sides, and that's Pascal Siakam, bro. The Knicks' advantage here, in my opinion, is the fact that they've got these three Bamas that have played together for years, bro. When we talk about Brunson, Bridges, and Hart, and you can even see that come out even with this Knicks team, like the way that like they know which one of them needs the ball and when is very, very impressive to me. And I feel like that chemistry is going to be hard to top. But also, I think the run that the Pacers had last year is going to prove very, very valuable in this series with the Knicks. Scroll, I think you made a good argument for the Knicks, but I'm still leaning Pacers. And I really like your point about Pascal Siakam. I think he ended up having a big series, and I just think the way the Pacers like to score is not a great fit for the matchups that the Knicks will pose.
Yeah, he makes some really good points with the matchups. I'm going to be interested to see how they figure out that backcourt matchup. Not to say Brunson's a bad defender, but he's the least favorable defender out of those guys in the backcourt. So where you're going to put him is going to be a very interesting chess move situation. And we talking about advantages. I will say that the NBA is a matchup game. So if they have matchup advantages, that does play in their favor. And if we're talking about coaching advantages, I'd have to give the edge to the Pacers there too.
And you were able and you make another good point about Brunson. You were able to hide Brunson a little bit in the Celtics, right? In the Celtics series, right? Because one, they're not running no offense through Drew Holiday, for one. And two, when Drew Holiday comes out, they're putting Peyton Pritchard in there, and that's just the perfect matchup for Jalen Brunson, right? And I get it. The Pacers will rely on TJ McConnell for a lot of this series, but when they put that starting five and you got Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton, bro, they both can be able to cook Brunson. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. What you think, T?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a toss up to me, man. I wonder what the odds are on FanDuel. I think Knicks should be able to beat them, but like you said, it's a game of matchups, and for as much as the Knicks scrap, I think the Pacers wouldn't mind scrapping either. I think the Pacers have unsung heroes like a Toppin that can hold his own. The thing that troubles me about the Knicks is that when I see them win, it's typically the same way, man. It's a whole lot of Brunson and then maybe people playing off of Brunson, which is similar to a Luka, similar to a Harden. He's just not jacking as many threes. But it's a lot of ball dominant play that typically doesn't get you to the finals or doesn't get you a chip at least. So I don't know. If I had to lay a bet, I'd probably say Knicks and 7. But I see this game going, this series going 7, and it could go either way. But I wouldn't be surprised at any outcome. I honestly don't know, man. It's a game of matchups. I like the Pacers. I like the Knicks. Yeah, give me Knicks and 7.
All right, I like that. I'm going Pacers. I'm going Pacers, and I'm gonna go with them in 6. Who you guys, bro?
I got Knicks in 7.
All right. It's gonna be a good series, man. It's gonna be a good series. I think Knicks is the more obvious choice, and I think they got, from a talent perspective, I lean them. One thing I say, like on each team, I think a player that's really got to show out for the team to win. I think for the Knicks, Mikal Bridges got to show up offensively, bro. He's been showing up defensively all playoffs, but the offense has been very, very sporadic. And then for the Pacers, I feel like one player that's got to live up to like the draft hype, the hype that was surrounding him for years. I feel like he's shown flashes this series, but Benedict Mathurin, bro, this playoffs, I should say. Benedict Mathurin, bro. The Pacers, because, dog, they're not going to waste one of their top defenders on Benedict Mathurin. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna put OG on Siakam, and they're gonna put Bridges on Tyrese, bro. So Benedict Mathurin in combination with Nimhard, they gotta go crazy, bro. So
Gotta
we'll
make
see.
it work.
For sure. For sure. I'll throw in Eastern Conference MVP, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Brunson. Go ahead, lock that up too. Parlay it.
I'm gonna actually go Cat.
Can't wait to hear his speech.
I'm gonna go Nimhard, bro. Y'all know my odds better. All right.
Nemhard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Nimhard, bro.
That would be crazy. If I go line, Nemhard balls hard enough to win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Pacers could win the series. That would be crazy. But
Nimhard was the unsung hero last year. I think it's gonna be a lot of attention paid to Tyrese Halliburton. Somebody else gonna have to show up, bro. I'm a big Nimhard fan.
he's nice.
All right, wait, man. Good shit tonight, fellas. Again, if you watching tonight, make sure you tap in with the gang. Follow us on all platforms at Good Ass Sports on all the major social medias. Gas Sports Network on YouTube. And y'all know how we end each and every show. Sports for the culture.